All right, we continue looking at the top 34 women college basketball players in 2024-25. The last video had 1 through 10. Go back and check that out. My reasons, my justifications. In this video, we are looking at the players I have ranked from 10 to 20. Well, that's not quite right. It's really 10 to 21. I left my notes at home on Madison Booker, so when I did the voiceover, I left her out. So really, I would have Madison Booker be 10A. And to be honest, that's the player I probably took the most heat on. And the other one was Flau'jae Johnson. And in my defense, I would say in a lot of cases, this is defending apples to oranges because I didn't break this down to position. So really, it's a lot of subjectiveness on, do you think a great center is more important than a wing player? And it's very subjective, the list. I granted that. So, and I'm happy to take the arguments. It doesn't bother me. I enjoy it as it sort of questions what I've put down. It makes me think. So I think that's a good thing. So again, your feedback is welcome. Now, Madison Booker, as I said, 10A. She was a beast. Once Roy Harmon went out with her injury, she averaged 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 45% from the floor, 30% from 3. Efficient field goal shooting percentage was 47%. And in the previous video, some have argued that actually Booker had a better season than Roy Harmon. I mean, obviously that's the case because Harmon missed most of the year or the second part of the year with her ACL injury. And I'll play that. I mean, if you wanted to switch out Harmon and Booker, if you wanted to put Roy Harmon at 10A and Madison Booker at number 8, where I had Roy Harmon, I wouldn't have too much qualms with that because Booker did put up good numbers and she did play the whole year. And really, Booker is a beast that's only going to get better and better for her over the course of the 2024-25 season.
At number 11, I have Georgia Amore. Some might say that's too low, but the ones that I could switch her for would be Flau'jae or maybe Roy Harmon. But I think they're more efficient. They're better two-way players and add more with their efficiency. But Georgia Amore put up good numbers and scoring 18 points, 2.6 rebounds, 6.8 assists, shot 41% from the floor, and overall 49% efficient field goal shooting percentage. Her three-point shooting percentage was 33% or 33.5%. I think she needs to improve that a little bit prior to going to the WNBA. She just needs to be a deadly, deadly shooter. And she had that. I mean, her efficiency went down, obviously, taking more shots per game last season. So her shot attempts went from her freshman year 18 to sophomore year 16, 22 to last year taking 28. And she maintained good efficiency for the shot percentage going up. It could be how she adjusts to the physicality of the SEC will be interesting. I think she'll be fine because she's an experienced player. But yeah, that'll be interesting to keep your eye on to watch how it goes. Because Kentucky, they've had some preseason injuries as well, so they might be undermanned. So something to keep your eye on. But yeah, I think it'd have her about right at number 11. Number 12 is Flau'jae Johnson. And Flau'jae, she averaged just under 15 points at 14.9. Total rebounds was 5.5. She's efficient. So from the floor, 50%, and then efficient field goal shooting percentage was 54%. I think she and Paige Beckers are the only players like guards shooting 50% from the floor, just straight up, and not including the efficient field goal shooting percentage. She has potential to be a really two-way player. She'll get more ball this year because Angel Reese has moved on, and with her partner in crime, Anissa Morrow, I, it'll be interesting how the transfers fit into LSU, but the one-two punch of her and Morrow and Williams, they're gonna LSU I think will be just fine. They don't have much depth, but as they gel, they might be even more devastating, especially if a few of their transfers come through. Number 13, I've got Lucy Olsen. Now she's Iowa. The question I've had with Olsen, so she put up good numbers last year at Villanova, 23 points, just under 5 rebounds at 4.8 per game, 3.8 assists. Her field goal shooting percentage was 43%, so not the most not the most efficient. The one that more concerns me is the 3-point shooting percentage. She was 29% from 3-point land, where obviously at Iowa her new school, she's going to have to shoot a lot of three-pointers, as well as the pressure of being, I mean, nobody expects her to be Caitlin Clark, but the idea that she's filling Caitlin Clark's role, that's just a tough thing to fit into. Her efficient field goal shooting percentage last year was 47%. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes. Previously, her three-point shooting percentage, her freshman year, she shot 30%, sophomore, 35%, but her attempts weren't that high per game. Number 14, I've got Audie Crooks. So on the offensive end, devastating numbers: 19.2 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 1 assist. Shooting percentage from the floor was 57%, 31% from three, and 58% effective field goal shooting percentage. And she's devastating on the offensive end, and she's only going to get better. Her points per 100 possession, because her minutes were limited by conditioning last year. Points per 100 possession, 41 points per possession. The issue, or her weakness, is defense, but she's devastating on offense. So they cover that by playing zone defense, and they did that well. I think Iowa State knows what they're going to be. They're really going to get teams with their offense and just play that zone and try to get all the rebounds they can, and they'll go well. I'm very high. I think Iowa State will have a very good season coming into this season because they picked up a few good transfers as well. At 15, I have Ashlyn Watkins. Now, she's still suspended, is my understanding, or away from the team till the legal issues get sorted. And I you could make the argument, I'm sure in the comments will say she should be higher than Crooks, and I'd agree with that because her all-around game is so devastating on defense in terms of what she does. So she averaged 9.2 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, 1.1 assists, and 55% field goal shooting percentage from the floor. Same with her effective field goal was 55%, and she just has that all-around game where she can play big in the middle, and but she can guard mobile quick fours as well because she has quick feet. And then her partner in crime, it's almost like a 1-2. I guess I shouldn't have said partner in crime. That's probably bad with the legal issues going on. But her partner on the court, Sanaya Fagan, they're just a devastating 1-2 punch. And Fagan, she she should have more or better numbers, especially depending on when Ash Watkins comes back. Because Fagan at the end of the year, her game improved. Like at the end of the season, Staley in the after postseason interviews was saying Fagan wasn't good at the start of the season. It wasn't focused. The good thing about Fagan is Sanaya Fagan is that she can take the feedback and got better as the season went along. And by the time they went into the Final Four, she was strong in the rotation and just really gave them what they need. She's really good on the offensive end. It's always with her defense. If you look at Fagan's numbers, you might say I have her too high up here, as she only averaged 6.7 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 1 assist on 55% shooting from the floor. But if you look at her per 100 possessions, it was 23.8 points per 100 possessions. And basically she would have devastating numbers or better numbers if she was in another school where there wasn't so much competition, that you didn't have a Cardoso, a Fag or not a Fagan, but Ash Watkins and so on. They're just so loaded, South Carolina. It's hard for all these players to get their minutes, so you really have to look at the per 100 possession metric, and she's one of the top in the country. Number 17, Tanaya Latston, Florida State. She put up numbers. I'm taking her down a peg just due to efficiency. So 21 points per game, 4.2 rebounds. Shooting percentage from the floor was 43.8%. 3-point shooting percentage, 27%. And then effective field goal shooting percentage was 46.1%. Her PER was 29.7. She, I hate this term, but she does what she does. They need her to take a lot of shots, be creative, be effective, and that cost her on efficiency, but that's what Florida State needs her to do. So ultimately, she does a good job. And yeah, 21. She's putting up numbers, even if they're not the most efficient. She's still efficient enough. I think you would say the player I might be able to switch Latston for was Georgia Amore, but I still stand by putting Amore number 11. Is I like her efficiency and her 3-point shooting. I covet those more than Latson's higher point production. So Laton had 21 points, but Georgia Amore's 18.8 points. But Amore's effective field goal shooting percentage was 49% versus Latston's 46%. And Amore can shoot the three ball, and that helps get spacing and everything else. Number 18 is Te-Hina Paopao, South Carolina. She averaged 11 points, 2.6 rebounds, 46% from the floor, 46% from the three-point line, and her effective field goal shooting percentage is obviously high because of her three-point shooting, which was 59.8%. With her, she fits so perfectly to what South Carolina needed. They needed somebody that could space the court and shoot three-pointers, and she fit that role perfectly. And she's that player that has the one devastating skill, which is long-range shooting, and it's a difference maker. And that might get her drafted in the first round. If you can do one thing and do it really well, then that might just be good enough to get her drafted in the first round. It'd be interesting to see come come the WNBA draft in 25.
Now, number 19, I have Mikaylah Williams, and really, I'll get crushed on this, and probably rightly so, as I probably should have had her at 12 or around 12 with Flau'jae Johnson, as their numbers are fairly similar. I think I had Flau'jae up higher just because she was slightly better from the floor at 50% versus Mikaylah Williams at 47%, but really, I know I'll get killed on a lot of stuff on this list, but that's the one because Mikaylah Williams can score at all three levels. I think I probably boosted Flau'jae up as well as I thought her defense was better, but Mikaylah Williams is a beast, and yeah, she'll move up this list, and that's one you can crush me about in the comments. I have Sonia Citron at number 20. She averaged 17 points, 5.5 rebounds, 2.7 assists, shot 46% from the floor, 35% from the three-point line. Again, she's probably a little bit too low potentially. I just want to see her get through the season healthy and just see how she goes. She could move up this list as well. That wouldn't surprise me in the least. She has an all-around game. Now it's over to you. Tell me what you think I got right or wrong. All comments are welcome. The next video will be 20 to 34. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a good night.